we are going to talk about the idea of understanding what Cody started to enliven for us, and that is this idea of influence. What really is influence? So there's two pieces I want to talk about in the next 30 minutes, and then we're going to have a killer panel before lunch. So the first thing I want to talk about is the relationship piece. And without question, as we begin to kind of start to put some action together in what we do with what we've learned so far, the relationship piece is the piece that matters most. And the one thing that we can count on going forward in this business is that relationships rule. And he who has the right relationships, she who has the right relationships is the he or she that's going to win. And it's all about relationship. So then the key is, how do I influence the right relationships? The better the relationship potential, the harder it is to influence. As we begin to upgrade who we want to do business with and how we want to do business with them, it gets to rarefied air. It gets hard to influence people that are the very, very best. So we got to understand, what does influence start to look like? So the relationship piece and the three things that I think go into creating a solid, influential magnet as you begin to look at relationships are these three things. Number one, ask better questions. And I think that every question that you design has to be disruptive. And what a disruptive question is something that gets attention immediately. Would you like to spend another 5 years as a real estate agent losing $250,000 a year in potential commissions that right now you're not earning? That's a disruptive question. To sit down with a borrower and say, has the lender you've talked with actually shown you a side-by-side comparison on what loan is best for you, why it's best for you, and to Denise's point, how that's going to help you build your net worth in the next 3 to 7 years? Those are disruptive questions. The second is to have deeper conversations. And this is where risk begins to raise its head, because deeper conversations are not easy conversations. It doesn't mean they're wrong conversations. It doesn't mean your motive is wrong. It just means that on the surface, people don't wake up every day prepared to go deep. And so the question that has to be asked is the deeper question. And when the deeper question is, tell me more about why that's important to you. Tell me the impact that might have in your life. If you think forward 3 to 5 years, how will life be different for you if we do this now? Those are all deeper conversations. And then the ultimate question, I believe it's the number one question of influence, beyond any other question you could ever write, beyond any other question you could ever architect or think about, is the question that gets people to immediately understand you're different. About 5 months ago, we were in Australia. We had a tour with what was called the Better Business Summit, and we were in Sydney and we were in Melbourne. And going over to Australia, we set up about 14 meetings with CEOs of mortgage companies over there so that while we were there, we could have face-to-face meetings. And Deb and I went around the country having meetings with CEOs controlling hundreds of billions of dollars in home loans. And I will tell you, as certainly as I can right now, right here on this stage in this moment, that probably out of every hour, 55 minutes were personal. And at the end of the personal conversation, I asked one simple question. And it set about in motion a series of relationships that today is expanding like wildfire in that country. And here's the question I asked. How can we help you win? That question is the biggest influential question that you can ask anybody, whether it's a borrower or a real estate agent, a builder, a developer, a business owner, a financial planner. How can I help you win? And I want you to know that's a disruptive question. And I think what's really exciting about that question is that it's fairly hard, if you really think about it, it's fairly hard for anybody to look you back and say, you know what, I'm already winning. I don't need any help. Most people are going to open up and they're going to tell you what you can do to help them win.